we nearly lost it, bro.
Yeah.
We nearly lost the hospitality industry, and no one invested in it. No one gave me anything. Take investment from somebody who has a different vision from you. You're going to end up owing that person a lot of money. I started the taco festival, having just lost my career, having just lost everything. I used to work like a dog, and then I realized I wasn't happy. I was just busy. Listen, I will tell you right now, 50% of the people that do well on Instagram do not know hardly anything about the subject that they're doing well on social media. They just know social media well. But just make sure you've got the right people behind you and you do what you want to do the way you want to do it. Like, it's the most important thing, man.
Okay, I'm privileged to have Alex, also known as Fatboi London, in the studio today. So Alex, tell me, how was Fatboi London born?
I kind of want to say by accident. I've always had a love for food. I was a big kid. When we used to play football, obviously I wasn't as big back then. I had my time. But I was like playfully putting some stories up, like pretend reviewing how Chicken Connoisseur used to review. Just doing like all my stories. And a lad that I lived with at the time just replied to my story saying, "You should start a food page." I was like, do you know what? I should. And then for like a year or two, it was like a little bit silly, not too serious. Then lockdown happened and everything else, and now I've got 2 businesses out of it, as well as the actual page and the stuff that I do through the food. So accident, bro.
It's blowing up because I actually really enjoy viewing it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it also makes me really hungry. Your voice has just got something about it. It's like, right, you know what? I want this right now, so I can completely see the.
I think that is. I think it's because I do love the food.
Yeah.
Like because we get paid to go places.
Yeah.
We get invited places, and sometimes I go in as a favour, or maybe I don't enjoy it so much, and I get people in the comment section saying, "We can tell you didn't really enjoy it," and I'm like. So I think it does show my voice that I really do enjoy the food, and you know what? I love doing what I do as well. So I think that shows it in the voiceovers.
What's been like the hardest one that you've had where you've actually really just not enjoyed it? I don't be like, you know what? I can't go through this one. Or have you been lucky and not had that experience?
No, I've had plenty. The thing is, I know a lot of people that will go and trash places, and that's cool. That's your, like, if you're calling yourself a reviewer, go and give a good review, go and give a bad review. Mm-hmm. But for me, I spent two or more years doing this just as a person without many followers. I was paying for my food. I was traveling around the country. I was getting to know the owners of the food places. Like, a lot of them are my close friends now. There's a couple of guys from York that I go football with. Like, I've slept in both of their houses. They're my boys now. Like, I consider them really close friends. So I understand the other side of the industry, or the main side of the industry. We are a side plate. We're not important. Food bloggers would not exist without these food places. The food places would continue to exist without us. Most bloggers don't get that. So for me, it's about putting places on. So the last thing I ever want to do is bring someone down, especially independent. Big companies, happily slam them. Slam them all day, every day. But small places, if I don't like it, I'll have a conversation with the owner and I'll say, look, I didn't like the food. I'm probably not going to post it. If he's rude to me, or if he doesn't take on it, or he doesn't accept that something was wrong, or then I'm going to post it. But the worst one, and I don't want to say this, it's Frankie and Benny's, man.
I'm not a fan, to be fair.
I don't think anyone is. It was a PR job. I very, very carefully, because I ate so much, I ordered like 12 different dishes. Because I knew it was going to be really hard to find stuff I like. So I just described each dish, and then I said the garlic bread was good, and something like that. So I very, very carefully, and I got paid for it and whatever. I need to just check that I'm still within date of them. Because I think it's like a year I wasn't allowed to.
Okay.
But no, and then I had loads of problems with them paying me. So thank God someone had middlemaned it, and I now have a fantastic relationship with him. He's another PR guy, and he's helped me so much with the festival. So that was a pain, man. That was such a pain. I hate working with big brands, and normally the food's rubbish.
So let's talk about the festival side. You just touched upon it now, obviously, because we've got obviously this as a major business as well. It's a very unique business as well, in my opinion, because I've seen the Taco Festival. We've spoken about you just said Pizza Festival.
Pizza Festival,
So how did this all come about as well?
So It was a madness. So when I first met you, I was a teaching assistant, weren't I? And I was running the mentoring scheme. And then I became a PE teacher, and I did that for like 10 years. And then lockdown, things went really, really well. I got involved with a group of guys, and we're doing like celebrity barbecue events. Like we work with a lot of like Towie people, and Tyler, who's on Strictly and Kiss FM DJ, like people like that. And it was really fun, really cool. And one of the guys involved in it was a meat supplier. It was me, a meat supplier. There was a guy who runs a barbecue place, and another cook, and me and him continued to have a fantastic relationship. He got a big investor come in, and the big investor wanted to blow his business up, make it like what's it called, the gym food one, muscle food. Wanted to make it like muscle food. Yeah, but like really elite food, home delivery stuff. And he saw something in me, and he thought I was going to be the person to promote the product. He offered me money to quit my day job. He's like, what are you earning teaching? I'll pay you to come and run our social media side. Once we get this thing national and make it big, then me and you are going to have some side projects together. The project collapsed. Oh, no. The two guys they were different worlds. Like I love them both great people, got so much time for them both, but they just were never going to work, unfortunately. And he pulled out, and then it wasn't financially viable for him to support me anymore. He did for a while. He helped me out for a while, and I was like, damn. I was never qualified as a PE teacher either. I just sort of worked my way into it, so I could never go back to that career. So I was like, sink or swim, what do I do now? Like, do I go back and start from scratch in education and be a teaching assistant earning nothing, or do I go and do like coaching jobs? And I was like, at this point I'm like 34, and I was like, I've just been through COVID, where I've just had this time to reflect on life. I was like, do you know what, this guy, when he persuaded me to leave the job, he was like, there is a time where people make this decision. Now is your time to make this decision. And he gave me a few really good gems of information, and I was like, fuck it, man. I'm sticking with this. So I started doing social media management. I now have a social media management company. But my real thing was I wanted a food festival. I was doing social media management for Wing Jam. Who were the second biggest wing festival in the UK, and I picked up some stuff from him. I'm really good friends with Rich, who owns Wingfest. I picked up loads of stuff from them, but I wanted to create a festival that was my experience, the day I have when I go to food festivals. Me and my boys, it's like our best days of the year. Like we go Wingfest, we go Wing Jam, and like we get mashed up, and we have so much fun, we eat so much food, and I wanted to create something that was similar to that. So my initial idea was a wing festival, and I was like, too much competition. Like Rich Wingfest, they've smashed that game down. There's a couple more wing festivals that are appearing now. They're all really good, but what Rich has done there, his model is amazing. He has like something like 50,000 people through his doors across 5 festivals in the UK, paying £30 a ticket, spending however much on beers. Like, his business model is fantastic. So I thought, cool, can't compete in that. What other food is portionable? What other food is loved? What other food do I really enjoy? My passion, tacos, man, they're portionable. You can sell them in individual portions and celebrate different flavors within it. And I spent 6 months looking for a venue. At Wing Jam, actually, while I was doing the social media, I met Signature Brew, and they have a massive site in Walthamstow. It's now become bigger because we've realised what we can do with it, and we've put 5 food festivals on in 16 months together. Wow. So it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy, bro. That is
that is crazy. So what's the kind of next step for the festival side? Like, where do you want to get it to?
I want to go national. I'd like it to be in different cities. I want it to be my full-time job. I probably made enough money last year off of it to live off of it, but that all goes back in. Like, at this point, it's not a job. It's a hobby I love that I'm just reinvesting in. I think I spent a couple of grand taking my family away at Christmas. And I took my missus to Venice for our anniversary. Nice, and I gave her some money so she could get a bigger car, so she could drag my stuff around for me. And that's the only money I've spent from it. Everything's gone back in. The idea for me is to stay as we are, build a cult following. But I'd like it if we could have a festival that has 5,000 to 10,000 people through its door in London, have a couple of other venues. I want 3 festivals in total. We're launching a new concept this year. So we've got the Pizza Festival, we've got the Taco Festival, we've got the Christmas Festival, which was stressed. So I don't know if I'll do that again. No one wants to be stressed at Christmas. But we're launching well, I haven't said it. I'm going to announce it now, actually. We're launching a sandwich festival this year in September.
Wow.
Yeah. There isn't a national sandwich festival, and sandwiches are on the up. So I want to have those 3 brands, make them nice and big, and that be my full-time job. But like, I don't want it to lose its heart and soul, and I don't want it to go humongous. I want it to be cool, man. I want it to be a vibe. About the food, yeah. And like I said it when I first started it, is I want one vendor who comes to me that has like less than 100 followers. Nobody knows about them. They've been trading for hardly any time.
Yeah.
And I want that person in 3 or 4 years as a projectile from coming to the festival to make a name for themselves and be like a massive name in street food. And that, I'll retire. I'm done with it. I'll go back to coaching.
So it's like you're now becoming like almost the pioneer food festival. So you started obviously, Fatboi London as well, but now you're actually motivating and inspiring other food bloggers, you could say, or other food, or what do we call food vendors, to come to your festival or reach out to you and be like, you know what, I want to give you a chance. So that is really, really good.
Yeah, do you know what? And as I said earlier, bro, this is so important, and so many people, I think in blogging in general, but for me, the food industry is like, it's such a delicate industry. We nearly lost it, bro. Yeah. We nearly lost the hospitality industry, and that's crazy to think about it. Yeah. Like, lockdown was tough. So many people that do what I do, they don't realize that we don't exist without the food industry, and the food industry still exists without us. Like, it would lose 2% of what it has without us, but without it, we don't exist. Do you know what I mean? There's no more free meals. There's no more getting paid to go and sit down and eat a burger somewhere, and getting paid well for it sometimes. So for me, it's about giving back to those people that have given me a career. I didn't think I'd ever work for myself. I didn't think I'd ever have my own business. And now I've got 2, based on the fact that there are a lot of really good food vendors, nice guys that have amazing food places, who gave me an opportunity, who shared my posts when I had 200 followers. And it's so important. Like, that is really, really key, that those people gave me this opportunity to be where I am. Like, it's really key.
So you touched upon, obviously, your missus and family and stuff, right? Yeah. How important is it to have a supportive partner?
Listen, I'll be honest, bro. Like, while I've been doing this, I've gone through negative relationships, and now I'm in a much more positive one. And the difference it makes is huge. I will say this categorically. I was told I had to mention this, but no, I will say, and I say it to everybody. I started the Taco Festival, having just lost my career, having just lost everything. I was scraping. Luckily, I was still doing a bit of coaching on the side, the futsal coaching. I do a couple of days of that a week, mainly because of the love of it. At the time, it did save me. But yeah, my festival, bro, my team, I started it with nothing. Like, no one invested in it. No one gave me anything. Luckily, I didn't have to put any money down on the venue. They believed in me. But without the people behind me, my team, my friends, my family, who've done things for free, it wouldn't exist. So that's one thing. If you ever ask me about starting a business, what's the most important thing you can do? Having good people behind you. My brother is an art teacher. Does all of my artwork for me, does all of my graphics for me. He loves it because he's learning. I think it's a career he eventually wants to go into, but he does all of that for me for free. And if I was working with a graphic designer, I couldn't call him up at 12 o'clock and say, oh man, like this is like this was a custom made. It's got the bottle of one of my sponsors with my logo, and he's managed to do it. And I was like, no, I don't like the color. Can we invert it so it can go on black? And I wouldn't be able to do that at midnight with a graphic designer. My missus, I met her 4 days after the first festival. First festival was really small. It was like a taster sort of thing, just to get into it. We had our first date 4 days afterwards. She's got a degree in events management.
That's convenient, isn't it?
It was super convenient, man. She doesn't do it anymore. She works for a charity now, but like she brings me back down to earth so often. Like, she's there every single day of every single festival. She's there at the start with me. She's there at the finish with me. Like, between her and my brother, like, hands down amazing. My housemate that I live with, the geezer who told me to start the food page, actually. He drives me about. He's there. To be fair, he has a good time at the festival. But no, like, just little things like that. My house is just a storage warehouse for festival stuff. One of our sponsors delivered 2,000 bottles of soda to my house 3 weeks before a festival. So we just had, I don't know if you know what 2,000 bottles of soda is. It's a lot of soda. Just crazy things like that. Those people there, that is the key to any business, is having the right people behind you when you start it. that if shit hits the fan,
they got your back.
Yeah. Don't mind me swearing, do you, bro?
That's why we got it. Probably make good TV. Beep beep. All right, cool. So obviously now let's go through the, we know about this, the food side, but there's actually another side to you, which is the coaching side, the futsal side, which has been, if I'm being really honest with you, you actually taught me about futsal, because I didn't know much about this until, I saw, you after our leagues, obviously, you started futsal, and I think it was another lady that did it. Was it Catherine?
Yeah,
Catherine as well. And then I was like looking at your page, and I was like, what, futsal? This is kind of. I think you told me then that it was going to be big. So tell us about this, because obviously coaching and food.
I got from making skinny to making people fat. Well, when I first met you, I was running a mentoring scheme, weren't I? And that was we had a group of boys off the estates in mainly Shepherd's Bush, some in Acton, and it was me and Catherine, ex-wife, and we ran it off out of our own pocket, man. Like, someone told us they were going to fund it for us. If I set it up, they'd back it. And we just ended up funding it ourselves. I was 22, 23, she was 20, 21. And that's where we got into futsal, because the guy who was going to fund it with us, he ran a futsal company, charity sort of thing. And we crossed over between the football we're doing, those boys, and futsal. It was just the same stuff. But it turns out that company also had a team that played in the men's league. They just got promoted into the national first division. I sort of went in there. I said, look, can I just come in and learn from the head coach? Ended up like doing a lot of stuff with them. I was the assistant manager. Like, I was coaching at a level way above I was ever able to play. And like, from that, I then went to the biggest club in the country, Helvetia. Like, they were the national champions the first like 5 or 6 years the league ran. They've gone out of business now, which is crazy. Wow. They won the league probably like 10 of the first 15 or 16 years it ever ran. Oh my God. They were the people that raised the bar until a couple of investors came in and put money behind other teams, and they've just gone out of business, which is really sad. But I was the assistant coach there for a few years. I was the head coach for like 3 or 4 months, but I didn't pay, so I was like, no, this is too much stress for something not paying. But while I was there, I met my boy Alfie. He just set up a quite successful private academy. I'd never worked private. I'd worked in schools, I'd worked in community, I'd worked in estates. I didn't really agree with private academies at the time. I always thought football should be free for everyone. I grew up poor, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But my mum couldn't always afford for us to play football. So I, for me, wanted to give something back. But it's like, do you know what? I've done my dues now. Like, I'm 10 years into this. I was, I think, 28, 29, and he offered me a job over in Essex from Shepherd's Bush, and I was like, do I take it? I went down there and I was like, wow, the standard's amazing, the discipline's fantastic. And this geezer, like, he'd only been coaching a couple of years, and I was like, do you know what? The level he's improved from when I first saw him coach, I was like, I'm here for this. Within a couple of months, I'd gone on tour with the club to Croatia. He'd put more sessions in, so it was almost like a full-time job for me. I moved to Essex for it. End of that year, we went to Barcelona for the World Championships and won the World Championships. Like, we beat Barcelona in the final of the Futsal World Championships. It was crazy, and from there it's just escalated, man. Like, it's as I told you earlier, we had one of our lads, his first team for AC Milan. He was with us for about 6 months to a year. Yunus Musa. I played every game for USA in the World Cup, and one of our boys is our first player to play in the Premier League. He was player of the tournament when we won the World Championship. City made his debut for Sheffield United the other week. So it's like, we've got a boy who's making the bench for Derby most weeks. We've got a lad who's just about to break through at Portsmouth. Fingers crossed, in the next like 10 years, the league's going to be littered with boys that we've coached, which is fantastic, man. Like,
so these are all people that have come, all boys that essentially have come through your system that are now actually in professional football. These boys, so they play academy football, but most boys who play academy football supplement it with futsal on the side, or do one-to-one coaching sessions and so on. One-to-one's much more prevalent now. It was like futsal was the trending thing like 4 years ago, but also we get a lot of boys when they're pre-academy stage. We get crazy numbers of boys who get to a sort of 8, 9. They sign at the academies, and then they're too busy there. We don't see so much of them. But like the academy system, I'd say there's like 3, 4, 500 kids that have come through our books at some point, like that are between 8 and 18 in the UK. So I've got a really good question. How do you find the time for all this? Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, pre-COVID, I used to work like a dog. I spent a lot of time single, so I didn't have to worry about a missus telling me what to do. I was teaching in the day. I was coaching 4 nights a week, coaching all day Saturday. And then when I got into the food stuff, I'd like go see my boys on Tuesday. We had Tuesday club.
Okay. Yeah.
And now Tuesday's like the only day of the week I now actually work. So we had Tuesday clubs been disbanded. So we had Tuesday clubs. So I'd go and get some food content then. And then Sundays I'd just go out and pick a few food spots. And that was when Fatboi London was first starting.
Yeah.
It was just me taking the odd picture.
Yeah.
But then lockdown happened. And until that point, I'd only ever known being busy. I hated my own company.
Yeah.
I was living with my pal. He was a tree surgeon, so he didn't stop working. He was working 6 days a week.
Uh-huh.
So I was just alone, man. I was in the house, most of it just chilling. I was like, do you know what? I like me. I don't mind. It's like when the pace slows down, I can chill. I played a bit of FIFA. I hadn't played FIFA in years. Just chilled on the balcony. Just did some work on my iPad because I was just writing reports on the players for the futsal just to keep it going. And I was like, I kind of like this pace of life.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought I was happy getting home at 9 o'clock every night, scoffing down some like fish and rice that was just like whatever I could quickly cook.
Yeah.
And then getting up the next day at 7 o'clock, going to gym, cycling back into London, going to work in Northwest London because I was working in Holston, then getting back to coaching Essex. And it's like, and I genuinely thought I was happy. Like, if you asked me how I was like, I'm sick. Like, I love loving life at the minute. And then I realised I was like, I wasn't happy. I was just busy.
Yeah, busy.
I wasn't. And when things slowed down, do you know what? If there was a Sunday morning, I woke up and I didn't have something to do, I'd have to desperately find something to do. I'd be texting everyone like, "Yo, what are you up to today? What are you up to today?" And like, I genuinely now, like some days I'm like, do you know what? I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna chill at home. And it's really interesting to see how I thought that level of busyness was what I wanted from life, but like, nah, man. It's just I just want good people around me now.
Slowing down has kind of actually ended up speeding your businesses up, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
It meant now I've got time to sit and do the things I do. Look, my main income now is social media management. That means I've got a handful of clients I need to shoot with each client once every 3 or 4 weeks. That means going into a restaurant, eating their food and taking loads of pictures of it and chatting to like-minded people. For me, that's not work. But then maybe 2 out of 3 days I have to sit for 2 or 3 hours editing videos and posting them on their accounts. Like, I can do that anywhere. I took my missus to Venice for our anniversary. I worked most days while we were there. I was like, babe, can we just stop off in a cafe so I can sit down? Like, as long as I can be here, I can work anywhere in the world. So what it means is I can prioritize the rest of my days to focus on the festivals. And that's my end goal. Like, there's something that could be a £1 million business one day. Like, the social media business is just something that I can live off of. Like, it's fantastic. I really enjoy doing it. I don't know if I'll ever stop it. Like, but it is my bread and butter. That doesn't take up too much of my time. The same with the futsal, man. Like, that's always been the thing. The 2 days that I still coach, they pay my rent. Like, I know my rent's paid. And that's what when the business guy who I was working with, he said that to me. He said, you're in a privileged situation here, Alex. You can work 2 days a week and pay your rent. Worst comes to worst, you've got a roof over your head.
That's true.
No matter what. If everything else goes wrong, because this is when the whole meat business thing collapsed. And he said to me, if everything else goes wrong, you've got a roof over your head. Not many people have a small job that they can fall back on and still have time to develop something they love. And like, that was the thing for me. And like the social media thing, it's just giving me that time. I can chill at home. Do you know what? Okay, I'm going to post at 1 o'clock today because I need to have this meeting at 10 o'clock. Like, it's just, I can just adjust things around it. It's remote working. And like, if you told me 3 years ago my job was going to be sitting at home on the sofa being on my phone, I'd say fuck you, bro. I couldn't stand being in the house. Genuinely, like, I'd get up at 7, I'd cycle to the gym, like, I'd kill some time in the spa, I'd cycle to Stratford, get the train into work, like, back out to Essex, like, coach till 9, and then come home, bed. And genuinely, if you told me sitting on my ass, being on my phone was going to be my job, I'd be like, nah, get out of here, I'll go insane.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So obviously social media management, obviously you've got a company that manages social media.
It's just me. It's just me. Yeah.
Just you. Yeah. So it's obviously another business. So this is you also now, not only obviously you've got your own stuff, you're now obviously essentially the social media manager for these food spots as well. Yeah. So for someone that wants to be a social media manager, tell us what that entails.
Firstly, understanding social media. Yeah. A lot of people talk to me about different aspects of it. Listen, I will tell you right now, 50% of the people that do well on Instagram do not know hardly anything about the subject that they're doing well on social media. They just know social media well. Yeah. I can advocate for some people who do both very, very well, and they've blown up. Eating with Todd, he's everywhere, man. This guy's. Okay. The first conversations I ever had with this guy, he just seemed like a student of the game. He'd watched YouTube videos on it. I was like, wow, I've been doing this for like 3 years, and like I've never watched a YouTube video on how to grow your social media. Yeah. Like he just knows things. He's always got his finger on the button. He understands social media, but at the same time, he knows food. Yeah, he knows food really, really well. But then there's people who will have a huge social media, and I see them reviewing places, and I'm like, that food's dead, bruv. How have you just rated that? Like, I've never seen you post a good place, or more importantly, I've never seen you post a place that Todd hasn't just posted. You're just following. So the most important thing is understand social media. Luckily for me, I have friends in the industry. Yeah. So by me running a food page, sometimes it means my friends come down and do posts for them, and that really pushes businesses. Yeah. Look, I had Todd visit one of my businesses this year. I've got to stop talking about the guy, man. Picking him up too much, man. He's already got enough followers. He visited one of my businesses this year, and I'd been sat in there, it's Birria Taco, and they were saying, look, we're doing really good. Like, they just moved to a new premises. Like, we're just here. We need to be here. Yeah. And it's like, what can we do? I said, let's see, man, let's push. I just left the restaurant after this conversation, and Todd dropped me a message. He goes, I've had a cancellation tomorrow. I'd really like to go down to Birria Taco. He tried them at the taco festival. He tried them at the taco festival, and he was like, he really liked it, kept wanting to go down. He had cancellation. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go down and try it. Within a week, they'd gained like 7,000 followers. Their revenue had doubled every day. Like on Mondays, they were doing more money than they used to do on Saturdays. It was crazy, just on the back of one guy going in there. Yeah. So that's another thing, is I knew my industry. Yeah. I knew both sides of my industry. I knew the social media side of it. I had friends in the food industry. It is time consuming at times, social media management, sitting there and liking people's posts from 5 different accounts for 20 minutes for each business. That feels like sticking needles in your eyes. Yeah. But doing that for 2 or 3 hours a day means that I have the rest of the day to go and eat burgers and chicken wings wherever I like.
Exactly. So, like, in terms of obviously, your food, right? What's been your best experience? We spoke about the worst, but what's been your best experience?
As in, like, my best overall experience, or the best, like, food I've eaten?
Let's do both. What's your best, the best food that you've ever tasted, and also your best overall experience?
See, mine will be so different to most people, because I don't really like fine dining stuff. I like going for it now and again, but I my personal opinion, I think street food in the UK now is getting to a level where it can rival some of the fine dining stuff. It's fantastic. And there's more love in it, and you get to see the person making it. And when you have a conversation with a person who makes food, and I'll tell you this categorically, if you're a chef and you're sitting there, and as you're serving me the food, you're telling me what's in it and why it's in there, when I take that bite, I'm tasting what you're thinking. Yeah. Like, and I love that. That's one thing for me. So my 2 favorite places, Black Bear Burger, man. I remember the first time I ate their burgers, I was like, I didn't know burgers can taste like this. They use really good quality meat, man. It's a simple burger. Everything they do is fantastic, but their actual burger, the first time I had it, I was like, food can taste this good. And then Smokestack, I've said it forever, it's my death row milk. Like, Smokestack is, I got really big into barbecue. I tried my hand at smoking for a year or 2. It's hard work. It's a tough process, but man, these guys have nailed it, and they've almost got it to like a fine dining concept. It's not like a Texas smokehouse like a lot of other places. It is really nice, small plates. They've got a couple of big phenomenal there. Any chef I know who's worked there, my pal Josh, I'm pretty sure Josh trained there. He's a phenomenal smoke chef, and like it's just a fantastic restaurant. Food's outstanding. Food experience.
Yeah.
I think what would be my best food experience? Probably, I'm caught up here now. Probably Wingfest.
Wingfest, okay.
Yeah. I've had a couple of Wingfests that I went to, and do you know what? Like, just seeing that vast array of food vendors everywhere, and like at the time, like wings were my thing. Like, if you ask me, like chicken wings were up there, like burgers were there. Then it was probably barbecue, and then tacos.
Yeah.
That's slightly adjusted now for many reasons, but just going around and the time you can have and seeing everyone, and this is what got me into the concept of doing a festival, people enjoying themselves whilst eating food. Like, for me, food is so sensory. Like, you smell it, you see it, you taste it, like seeing people happy, the vibes, like that for me, like. So I do influencer parties sometimes, and I say it to people all the time. I say it to the restaurant owners. I can bring you a room full of bloggers, or I can bring you bloggers individually. Yeah. If you give me the budget, as in food and drinks, to bring these bloggers into the room, most of them have either only met each other a few times, not seen each other for ages, or spoke online for 3 or 4 years and never met face to face. These people are meeting face to face. They're having drinks. They're having a good time. If you leave a place having had a good time and the food was good, you're going to think the food was amazing. It's all experience. And I say, and it's true. And the reviews every single time have been amazing. Because if people are having a good time and they're happy, and if you're eating good food, if you're eating shit food when you're happy, you know, you're still going to think it's shit. But if you're eating good food when you're happy, you're going to think it's amazing. I say the same. If food looks good and it smells good, before you've tasted it, you're already like 20% up. Like, if it's average, you're going to think it's good. If it's good, you're going to think it's amazing. If it's crap, you're going to think it's all right. But if it looks bad and it smells bad and you take a bite out of it and it's really good, you're not going to think it's good. Like, it's such an experience. So for me, Wingfest, for me, that's my best food experience, because like just happiness, all based around food.
Yeah. I like that. So presentation is important. Smell. So these are all these things that, you know, like, obviously I feel the same here, because I feel like presentation is important. Smell. Then it's the taste, and then it's the people that you're with. Service
as well.
Service, yes.
As well.
Okay.
Service is so key.
Yeah.
Service is so important. But yeah, people you're with, I really agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've obviously we have to do it in our industry. I've done some solo dining, and solo dining it's not as fun, and I don't like it, and especially filming, because people do make comments. Like, people will I've been insulted in public for taking pictures of food. Yeah.
Well, what kind of stuff people said?
I don't know, top of my head. Someone was I was watching a football match in Queen's Head, I think it is, in Islington, and they had a Sunday roast on. We were doing a Sunday roast, and I was watching the game. There's packed room, and there's people at the back showing, food wanker, stuff like that, and
And this is while you're working, so you actually do it for work as well.
And it's a pub full of people, and like, because and we use, most of us use handheld lights, because lighting inside is bad unless you can take the food out. And you get a lot of comments, man. That's shit. That's not cool.
Yeah.
And those people don't realise that they're paying for their food. Not only am I getting mine for free, but sometimes I'm being paid to eat it. So you keep insulting me, bro, while you got your £100 bill.
I got a question for you. I ask everyone that comes on. Can money buy happiness?
Not by itself.
Okay.
But I think it's very hard to be happy without money.
Yeah.
I have been through periods of my life where, as I said, I thought I was happy for short periods of time, like going out partying when I was younger, and I was like, yeah. But then it gets to the end of the week and the bank balance is zero, and you can't go out, and you're sat at home feeling depressed.
Yeah.
I tell you now, if I had a couple £100 more in my bank, that happiness from the beginning of the week would pass through to the weekend. I don't think if you have money, you will be happy.
Yeah.
But I think if you have money, you can make yourself a lot happier. Like, bro, my whole family haven't spent Christmas together for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
So my sister moved to Wales. She's got 5 kids. One of them stayed here with my mum. Okay. My brother's got 2 kids. His partner's from a small town in France, so they go there a lot.
Wow.
I'm the drunk uncle, so sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not. And do you know what? I had a good year this year, so I rented a manor house in the country for my family.
Oh, amazing.
Just a 10-bedroom, small wing of a manor house.
Yeah, small 10-bedroom. Small 10-bedroom.
No, do you know what? It was a reasonable price, to be fair, but do you know what? I had a bit of money spare, and I was like, do you know what? Like, I don't know when we're next going to spend Christmas together.
Yeah.
My sister lives really far away, so I just put it in the middle. It was my first Christmas with my missus. We were together last year, but we didn't spend Christmas together.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go and see her family on Boxing Day, so I made it close to her family so we could get there. So it just, and do you know what? Like, and then one of my aunties lives nearby, so she came over, and my cousin, her daughter, came over, and it was the first time my mum and her sister have spent Christmas together in about 50 years.
No way.
How much is that?
Family over everything.
Yeah. And bro, like, listen, money can't buy happiness. Well, I tell you, I was happy. I was happy that weekend. Like, it was so sick.
And kind of, let's say we meet each other again in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
Where do you feel you're going to be in 10 years?
Hopefully skinnier. Bro, when I quit teaching, I put on 3.5 stone.
Wow.
It goes up and down, but fingers crossed I'll learn to manage that. Hopefully healthy, bro, above anything else. Hopefully healthy, potentially married. I had to say that one as well. But like I said, I'd like to have 3 successful festivals. Maybe not be living in England. Oh, I like that. Okay, At least for some of the year. And spend more time with my family and friends than I do at the moment, and not prioritise people that I meet over social media, which does happen a lot. It's like going for food to this person or going to that place, and like I prioritise the people that I am here because of them. That's where I want to be in 10 years' time. Like, cool, hopefully the festival's a success, but mostly because I want that to be able to give me the life that...
Amazing. Well, listen, you've been an absolute inspiration, and I've known you for a very long time. So I know the fact that you're probably one of the most selfless people that I know, because you want to help others, and I think that's been the way for a very, very long time, since you're like 21, 22. So amazing. So it's really good to have you on.
Crossed I've helped someone at some point.
I've been watching the journey. It's been amazing. So it's been great having you. Thank you.
But I'll also say the same, bro. But listen, when I first met you, bro, you just come out of university and you'd started the football leagues with Play 5-a-side, and I will tell you now, there are a few people in my life, and I've looked at their journey, and I've always looked at yours, bro, and it's really impressed me when I saw you on Dragon's Den.
Not so impressed there, but
No, I was impressed, bro. Do you know what you did? And this is one of my biggest downfalls, but it's helped me be where I am. Is I say what I think. Like, if I don't think something's right, and I loved it, bro, when he told you that they don't play netball on 5-a-side pitches, and I was like, and he's like, well, they do, because I've seen it myself. I've been there. I've stood there and watched the netball games while we're waiting for our games to go on. So I know you weren't lying. But no, I really respected how ballsy you were, and you'd rather get your business where you want, doing it your way, than just nodding and saying yes to people. Because eventually, bro, I'm telling you now, like, if you take investment from somebody who has a different vision from you, you're going to end up owing that person a lot of money. And so I've watched your journey, bro, and you've had so many different things. And I was like, how's this guy the same age as me? And what, a couple of the boys from the mentoring scheme, you gave us a lift before. You gave us loads of footballs, man. You gave us loads of footballs for the mentoring scheme. And they used to, where's the guy? Was it a Honda Civic? You had kitted out one.
I had
blue with tinted windows.
I had a Lexus IS.
That was it.
Before that was a Golf.
It was the Lexus, and it was all tinted out. And the boys used to gas about it, and you're like, is that the guy who had the Lexus?
Man. No, I love that car. I love that.
But you were like a year older than me, and you had the business, bro. And I was like, this guy's got his shit together, and I'm a teaching assistant.
Well, now you know what, you're here inspiring me, mate. Do you know what I mean? So,
thank you, brother, man.
And I got something for you, because that's what I feel you are, a real boss.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
You don't quit. That's the main thing.
Don't quit. Way. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Add that to your collection of
merch.
of merch. Yeah, man. But again, I thank you so much, man, for coming on.
No, bro.
And is there anything else you want to kind of touch on, or you feel like?
Nah, man. Just like I said, if you ever want to start a business, just make sure you've got the right people behind you. Without my family and my friends, and like, even, do you know what? I spent 6 months looking for the right venue for the festival, and people that believed in my dream, the way I wanted it to be. Like, having the right people behind you is really important. I haven't made anywhere near as much money from my first year of business as I should have, but I went in low risk, low reward, so I could do it how I wanted it to do. Nothing could be dictated to me. I took very few risks on it. I did it exactly how I wanted it, but it meant my profit margins were lower. But what I've done now is I've built something I love, and it's how I want it to be. So now moving forward, but just make sure you've got the right people behind you, and you do what you want to do the way you want to do it. Like, it's the most important thing, man. Like,
Legend, man.
Believe in your shit, man.
That's it, man. Perfect, buddy. Thank you so much.